What's up? What's up, family? What's going on? What a day. What a night was it? It was. What a night it was last night. Shout out to the group, man. Shout out to the Facebook group. Doing wonderful things over there. They killing it. They're really killing it, on the in the sports book and in fantasy, man. It's really going down. Shout out to them. Like and subscribe to this video. Almost at 1,000 subscribers, man. Trying to get there. Like I always say, make sure you guys have Twitter, And for NBA, make sure you're following Fantasy Labs NBA. If you're not following them, you're doing it wrong, man. I'm trying to tell you. Next, we all know the slate, especially for DFS. The slate doesn't, it doesn't begin until at least 2 hours before lock. All the news is coming out, and then you'll find all the news at Fantasy Labs NBA. It's a must-have. All the injury updates and everything like that. So we got a 10-game slate. All I got to say, I'm a one-lineup type of guy. I play one lineup on both sites. And you got to be safe out there. All my sportsbook people, y'all already know what time it is. Time to eat. My DFS folks, it's time to eat. So let's jump into this 10-game slate. I'm just going to point out a few guys that I like. I always say that I just try not to, I don't want to make it too long, man, but let's get into it. Now, right off the back, we got fireworks. We're starting off with this Sacramento and Washington game. And if you like same game parlays and you like to stack up games and you like, these are two of the worst defenses in the league, it is about to go down. There won't be any Marvin Bagley, and then the rest of the guys that are out is probably the usual suspects. Hassan Whiteside is questionable. He might be back. Keep an eye on that. And Raul Neto, keep an eye on him. But for the most part, the usual suspects. And about this game, I can't tell you who I think going to win this game, but I know there's going to be points scored. To keep me from going into this game, I'm going to let you know this right now. All these guys you see right here are in play. Westbrook, Bradley, De'Aaron Fox, Rashawn Holmes, Harrison Barnes, Buddy Hield, Rui, Halliburton. Those are, all these guys are in play. All of them. Now, in the event that you might see some Marvin Bagley Marvin Bagley is going to be out. So you might see somebody like, you might see somebody like, so you might see Bielisa. He might jump into the starting lineup. And he can be productive. Most of us know this. He can be productive. And another guy that I want to point out, with the center's position over in Washington, we need to find out who's starting. If Lynn gets to start and pushes around 20 to 25 minutes, or even up to 30, he can be a really, really decent option in this setting here. Denny Avdija, he's been getting minutes as of late. And, he's somebody that, he's coming in at 4K. 20 will get him 5 times value. Excuse me, I just got off work. I'm tired. So, I don't know if I'll be able to get to him on the slate, but don't be surprised if he does have a good game. Moving on over to Toronto and Detroit. Injury situation here is kind of sticky. Fred VanVleet is doubtful. These guys been out for a while. Pascal Siakam is questionable. He has been practicing with the team. OG Anunoby is out. Hamidou Diallo won't be playing. Dennis Smith Jr. is questionable for the COVID protocol. And Wayne Ellington is doubtful. And Rodney McGruder is questionable. So, on the Toronto side of things, Nurse, the starters and the usual suspects, we don't have to guess their minutes they're in, You feel like you want to get to Lowry, I don't mind the play. Norman Powell, he's just been a bucket. He's just been a real bucket, man. His price has creeped up to $7,500. Oh, Fanduel, you're getting Norman Powell for, let's see. Norman Powell is at the small forward slot. He's almost 8K, so you get him for 7,700. So he's somebody that you could take into consideration on this slate. And Chris Boucher. Boucher has been in play for the last 4 or 5 games. He's finally getting his minutes. Outside of that last game against Chicago, he only got 26 minutes, but the previous 3 to 4 games, he had 30 minutes. We know what he can do. I don't mind targeting bigs against Detroit. They're not the best. We know Chris Boucher can have a monster game at any given time and in limited minutes. So he's definitely in play. And, that's all I would be able to look at. Aaron Baines, he's been getting minutes as well. And he's been playing okay, but I just don't think I'll be able to get there. On the Detroit side of things. Oh, but you know what? Yeah. That's it. This slate is too big for me to be playing around. Then on the Detroit side of things, you got Jeremy Grant, Mason Plumlee. Let me see. DeLon Wright. So out of those 3 guys, I don't mind either one of those guys. They're going to be out there. DeLon Wright is sitting in a nice price point at $5,800. I'd love to see his shot totals go up, though. At least getting about 13, 14 shots a game. Given the injury situation and things like that. But he's firmly in play for sure. I like that price tag on him. He doesn't have to get 30 to hit you 5 times at $5,800. Mason Plumlee. I don't mind the play. I probably won't get there though, but I won't be mad at you if you're taking a stab at him in GPPs. And Jeremy Grant. He's in a good spot here. The usage will be there for him for sure. We know that much. He just, at 7,300, he doesn't even have to give you 40. And we know he has 40, 50 point upside. And on FanDuel, you'll get Jeremy Grant he's at the power forward slot, I think mid-7s. Right, 7,200. So he could be a sneaky play. One more play I wanted to point out here was Isaiah Stewart. On FanDuel, on Draftkings, he is only center eligible at 3,900. But he has been getting minutes, so that's something to take in consideration. On FanDuel, he is a power forward eligible. But like I say, he's been getting minutes, and he's nothing but a tournament dart. But that's somebody I want to put on you guys' radar. He's coming in at 4K over there. Moving on over to Brooklyn and Indiana. These 2 teams hadn't just played not too long ago, and it wasn't an ideal game. Indiana likes to play pace down. They're not too fast of a team. Kevin Durant remains out, and the usual suspects are out. Outside of the usual suspects, everyone else looks healthy. Now, James Harden is firmly in play. I would, if I had to pick one of them between him and Irving, I would probably lead James Harden. But the last time these 2 teams played, Kyrie Irving had the better game. I think he scored 35 points. James Harden has triple-double upside each and every night. His peripheral game is intact. So those are the reasons. That's one of the major reasons that I like Harden, because he does more than score. And as far as getting to anyone else, DeAndre Jordan did have a double-double against these guys, but he possesses no upside. And you have to guess a lot, so I won't be getting to him. Bruce Brown can get hot, but I just don't, at that price tag, I can pay all the way down for somebody on a bigger slate that'll give me the same output. Jeff Green had a good game last time, and, just the usual suspects. I just can't, I don't want nobody else. On Indiana side of things, and like I said, this game was kind of brutal the last time they played. Sabonis didn't have the greatest of games either. His prices come down to $9,400 on Fanduel. You'll get Sabonis for, I think, $92. So, he doesn't have to give you 50 to get 5 times. But do you want to pay that? We know it's Biggs versus Brooklyn. We know that. But, this team, they have Caris LeVert. He's back, and the usage is starting to get spread around. For that hefty price tag, I could probably look elsewhere. Malcolm Brogdon at $7,200 is a decent price tag on him. I think he's even cheaper on FanDuel, coming in at $7K. His price. I probably won't get there, but even though I like his matchup, I probably still won't get there. There's too many plays on this slate. Caris LeVert played 29 minutes, so he's played 27 minutes and 29 minutes. The big kicker is here on FanDuel. You'll get him for, I think he's still in the 4K range on FanDuel. So he's definitely is the place where you would want to play him at if you do decide to play him. He's sitting here at $4,400. We know the upside he possesses. This is his former team. I don't know what type of minutes they're going to give him. But as you know, he can stuff the stat sheet. Like to see his attempts go up to at least 15 a game. But this kid is a baller. The rest of these guys, I just won't get to them. And I'm going to keep this thing rolling. Milwaukee and Philly. This should be a nice game. I think I like Milwaukee to win this game. Anyway, they'll be without Joel Embiid, and then the rest of the squad looks healthy. So right here at the top, you see Giannis. He's just been smashing it every night. It's up to you. Do you want to get him in your lineups or not? Chris Middleton is somebody I probably won't be able to get to on this slate at $7,800. On FanDuel, you'll get Chris Middleton for $7,300, $500 cheaper. I like the price on Drew Holiday at $6,300. I think he might be a little bit cheaper on FanDuel at $5,900. It's just a really nice price tag. He will be matched up with a midget, like, for real. I'd imagine Danny Green would probably be guarding Chris Middleton. And then Drew Holiday will probably see some defense from someone like, I don't know, maybe Ben. I don't know. If you don't see Ben, then it's going to be crazy. DiVincenzo has been playing some pretty good ball, lately. So kudos to him. At $5,200, do I think I'm going to get there? No, but I still need to point that out for the folks in the back. FanDuel, you'll get Dante DiVincenzo for $4,600. So you'll get him for $600 cheaper on FanDuel. Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez, I just won't do it. I won't do it. On the Philly side of things, you got Ben Simmons coming in at 8,900. I like the price tag for him. I don't mind getting to him either. On Fanduel, you'll get him for under 8K, so he doesn't even have to give you 40 to hit 5 times value. So that's something to keep in mind. Tobias Harris is at 8,400. And on Fanduel, you'll get Tobias Harris for around the same. No, 7,800. So both Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons is under 8K on both sites. If I was to go to Tobias Harris, I would go over there on Fanduel. Ben Simmons as well. You're getting Ben Simmons for $1,100 cheaper. Oh, shucks. And then Shake Milton, he had a pretty, he didn't have a good outing last game. Seth Curry has been playing okay. He's got that 3 ball on him. He should get extra shots in the absence of Embiid. Pretty nice game for same game parlays. Boston and Cleveland. I don't like the matchup here for Cleveland. It's just a grinded out type of game. From when you're going up against Boston, especially with Marcus Smart back. So Kevin Love is questionable, probably more like doubtful, but he's questionable right now. So we'll see what's up with that. And Tristan Thompson is going through the COVID protocol, so we'll have to see what's up with that situation as well. And for the rest of the team, the usual suspects, we should be good. Starting off on the Boston side of things. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker. This is a back-to-back. So keep in mind, Kemba Walker could be a rest candidate. In the event of him sitting out, it's a usage bump probably for Marcus Smart. And speaking of Marcus Smart, his minutes is ramped up. He's been back for 3 games. He played 21, 19. Then he came back and played 25 minutes. So, I don't know if the coach is going to let us know, but, this is a guy who plays 35 minutes a game, just like the rest of these guys. So, that's something to keep in consideration. Now, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, these guys take 20 shots or better a game. These are the usual suspects. So especially if Kemba Walker is out, they're going to be chucking it. Even though they're going to be chucking it anywhere it goes. Robert Williams, he's been playing well in his stint. He's somebody, a big-time fantasy point per minute type of dude. He can come in and put up fantasy points in a hurry. You'll get him on Draftkings for $5,600, and on Fanduel at the center spot, you'll get Robert Williams for $5,600, so he's priced the same. The rest of these guys, I won't be able to get to him. Daniel Tice is priced very nicely, but I still won't be able to get to him. On the Cleveland side of things, Jared Allen hasn't been the Jared Allen that we all know to come to love as of late. It's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. He hasn't had over 34, 35 fantasy points, and he hasn't hit 40. That's kind of concerning. But he just needs to turn it around. I don't think I'll get to it with that price. Terry's only, I'm so sorry. Colin Sexton, I just won't be able to get to him, or Darius Garland. I just don't like the matchup. Larry Nance is someone I would take into consideration, especially if Kevin Love is out. At that price tag of $4,700, and you'll get him on FanDuel for, How much? Because I need to know how much he is on FanDuel. 4,900. You know, I could probably get down with that. You know, or throughout the course of the day, you know, we're gonna get big time news, folks that's in and out, and somebody who, you know, sometimes is worth taking a stab at. JaVale McGee, another high point per minute type of player. I won't be getting there, but I just had to point it out that he did have a nice game last game, 21 point. In 21 minutes, he put up 33 fantasy points, 16 to 8 against Miami. Moving on over to the Golden State and Houston game. This is an important game with all the injury news. Now, we know Christian Wood, he's been ruled out. He's probably ready to go. He's been ready to go. They just holding him back. He's questionable. I don't think he plays. If he does, I won't be able to get to him. Victor Oladipo, he's been ruled out already. So, no, he hasn't been ruled out, but he hasn't been playing back-to-backs. John Wall is the one who's been ruled out. So, potentially, you're going to be without Christian Wood, Victor Oladipo, and John Wall. Eric Gordon, House is questionable. Nwaba is out. Ben McLemore is questionable. And, you know, these guys, they have potential, you know, to have about 8 or 9 players available. Kevin Porter Jr. is someone who's been playing some nice basketball. And I don't mind him in this spot. The minutes will be there for him. You know, he can play upwards of 40 minutes, like you see. And he can provide you with a decent amount of upside on that price tag. He's under he's under 7K. He doesn't have to give you 35 points to hit 5 times. And on FanDuel, you will get him at Kevin Porter is a point guard on FanDuel, I believe. Let's see. No, he's a 2 guard. I think he's like 7,300, I think. Okay, so here we go with this. Where is Kevin Porter? I hate when I do this. When I can't find somebody. Wow. Kevin Porter. All right, well, look, I'm not finna keep looking for it. I need to move on. Because FanDuel shuffle players up anyway, like they crazy. On the Golden State side of things, you know, the usual suspects are in great spots, man. You got Curry, Draymond, Oubre, and Wiggins. You know, if you want to get to, oh no, I'm so sorry, I'm still on Houston, right? So, Jason Tate, he had a very nice game last game. He put up 27. No, he put up 25 points. Had 46 fantasy points. Somebody who I've been riding on prop bets. I really mess with Jason Tate. KJ Martin is another guy who's going to be in play. He's playing upwards of 30 minutes, and he's been being very productive with his fantasy points. He's been getting buckets, you know. He's getting rebounds here and there, you know what I'm saying? So these guys here, excuse me, his price is raising up, but, you know, they're definitely in play. Justin Patton, I won't be able to get to him. His price has crept up to $4,800. Now, I don't want to pay that much for him. So I have to take him off my radar. And that's about it for the but you know what though? I'm sorry. Yeah, because see, these guys can be so short-handed, man. Wow. They just giving it up. They might as well just don't even Yeah, just leave the usual suspects out. Ain't no sense on getting Oladipo and all these guys all worked up and hurt. So, like I said, for Golden State, you all know what it is. Either you're going to play those guys or not. Interesting thing to point out right here, Draymond Green is a triple-double candidate here. And on top of that, his prop bets are like insane. So like, excuse me, man, especially his alternate prop bets, man. You know, for him to get, you know, for 10 points for Draymond Green is like plus 1,500 or something like that. So if you want to take some stabs at him scoring, then I wouldn't mind that. But, you know, like I said, there's some blowout risks here and all that. San Antonio and Chicago, my Chicago Bulls. DeMar DeRozan will be out for this one. You know, we don't have any LaMarcus Aldridge. Garrett Temple was out, and KDB makes the up is out. So, man, starting off on the Bulls side of things, man. Chicago has shaken up the starting lineup. They sent Kobe White and Wendell Carter to the bench in exchange for Thaddeus Young and Archie Diacono. Satoransky. I'm sorry, Satoransky. So this should be an interesting game. Sparks could fly here. You know, Zach LaVine. You know, the Bulls are playing pretty good ball right now. One thing I wanted to point out was Lauri Markkanen on Draftkings. He is priced at $5,800. The usage is there. You definitely need to step up his peripherals. I mean, yeah, his rebounds. I mean, but he does show some upside on his price tag. He's not $6K. On Fanduel, you'll get him for probably about $6K though. Oh, he's $58 on Fanduel as well. The minutes are there. If he happens to get have a nice game at this price tag, man, because he can't give you 40, 50 fantasy points. So, you know, and, you know, that's, you know, Zach LaVine, he's in play, you know, under 9K. We know what he can do. He shucks the shots up, but he doesn't give you many peripherals. He stumbles into it. These peripherals he got last night, he didn't even get those to the second half. On the San Antonio side of things, DeJounte Murray, I like the spot he's in. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Satoransky. They refuse to raise his price. He's a good option for tournaments and GPPs. Now, and Satoransky's been killing it and running that offense pretty well. But DeJounte Murray, man, he's in a great spot. Jakob Poeltl, he's somebody who can rebound and get those putbacks. He can give you a double-double like so. You know, he can do that. Given the event, you know, and you know the Bulls aren't that good against bigs. Jakob Poeltl's price is coming down though. $6K. It's still kind of $6K, $5,900 is still kind of steep right now. Derek White, somebody who got into foul trouble last game and hurt his upside. And I hear sirens outside. It's too early for that. I don't mind going back to Derek White here with low ownership, $5,400. I think it's a little bit cheaper on FanDuel. Derek White, probably $49 or $5K on FanDuel. $5K on the head. Rudy Gay, that's probably a no for me. Keldon Johnson is interested in this matchup. He had 32 minutes last game. Went 4 for 9 for 3. In this matchup, a pace-up matchup for them. And San Antonio plays at a pretty decent pace as well. You can look for him to have a good game. And that's about it. I'll move it on to the Miami and Memphis game. And keep an eye out on Bam Adebayo's status because this is a back-to-back. There's chances are he could be sat on a back-to-back. Other than that, Andre Iguodala and Jeremy Jackson, these guys, they out. Jimmy Butler has been ultimately smashing it every time he gets in. 53, 62, 52, 62. Man, the list goes on. It's close to 10K at 9,700. You want 60. You know what I'm saying? That's your goal. If you want to get to him, that's up to you. He's in a good spot. Bam Adebayo is probably a no for me, healthy or not. And then the rest of these guys, Kelly O, Goran Dragic, Hero. Hero is interested, though, especially in a close, tight game. We know he'll be in there. But, yeah, that's about it for the Miami side of things. And then Memphis, it's Ja Morant and Valanciunas for me, and I won't be getting to anyone else either. Moving over to the Charlotte and Denver game. Looks like these teams are pretty much healthy outside of Monte Morris and Gary Harris. So, and RJ Hampton is out as well. Charlotte has a full deck. They stacked up with their full deck, no injuries. Nikola Jokic is in an awesome spot, man. I love talking big, skill bigs at that against Charlotte. Charlotte's last game, they played against Sacramento, and Rashawn Holmes put up 60 fantasy points on these guys. So, Jokic is almost matchup proof, so, it is what it is. Jamal Murray is due for a 40 or 50 ball. The minutes is there for him. The usage is there for him. He's definitely due for something, big time. So there you have that. Michael Porter Jr. I can't get to Michael Porter. Excuse me. I can't get to Michael Porter Jr. when Will Barton is playing as good as he is. He's been getting buckets, and his peripherals game has stepped up. 43 fantasy points last game, and I like this matchup for him. So I like me some Will Barton, especially at that price tag. Let's see how much he is on Fanduel. 5,500 on FanDuel. And then that's about it. That does it. That does it for me for this game. Moving over to the last game on the slate is the Clippers and Dallas. This is a rematch and a rematch of the bubble. So Luka Doncic. Well, keep an eye out for the Serge Ibaka. If he happens to miss, then I'll tell you who you guys can get to. But for the most part, Patrick Beverly and Dwight Powell is sporting a Q tag. Luka Doncic. He just had 68 fantasy points with a triple-double last time these two teams played. And that was awesome. He just, you know what it is with Luka. He's a monster. Kristaps Porzingis. He's been disappointingly here and there. He's just not as consistent as we, especially with the peripherals. He had 33 fantasy points this last time out, But before that, he had some pretty decent fancy numbers. 4 out of his last 5 games. At 8,100 is a decent price tag for him. He'll probably around 80. What? He's probably around 8K on Fanduel. Let's see. 8,200. And they definitely need him to go off. But outside of them two, I won't be able to get to nobody else. And on this slate is Brunson has been okay. You know what I'm saying? Been pretty okay. Just the matchup was tough. He only had 15 fantasy points. He only shot the ball 4 times. But against a tough LA Clippers team, he's hardly in play. On the Clippers side of things, you know what you're going to get from Kawhi. He had a pretty good game. Paul George is under 8K on both sites. 15 points in his last 2 games. 5 for 14, 5 for 18, 5 attempts in each in his last 3 games. 5 field goals made each game. And it's a matter of time before he shake out of his funk. So he makes for a good tournament option. On FanDuel, you'll get him for 7,600, I believe. And that's disrespectful. It sure is. Reggie Jackson has been starting for Patrick Beverly. If his shot fall in and he gets hot, then we know that he can spark some upside on that price tag. With I can get to somebody else who I know. And in the event Serge Ibaka misses this game, you can look to Ivica Zubac. Ivica Zubac is a pretty decent basketball player. He just he doesn't I love to see him be I love to see him be a 30-minute guy every night. That'd be awesome. So I like to play. Especially if Ibaka's out, I like to play. And that one more thing I want to point out between Marcus Morris and Nicholas Batum. Nicholas Batum just went to the bench, and maybe it'd be good for him to come off the bench because he's just so basic, man. It's pathetic. He's just basic as hell. But Marcus Morris is starting. We know this is a good basketball player. At this stage in his career, I still think he's better than Batum. At 4,100, we think, if you think he can spark some upside, which we know he can, he doesn't even have to get 25 to give you 5 times value. I think I like him and his aggressiveness. I think he's in play. And on the books, you can look at his player props, because, he could, he could be, he be the difference between you winning, a little bit and a lot of money, especially when you're doing parlays with player props. But listen here, folks, like and subscribe to the channel, man. All my subscribers, I want to thank you to all my subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough. If I had to pick a choice on these winners, I would say this one is a hard one, but I'll probably lean Washington. Toronto and Detroit, I'd probably leave Toronto. Brooklyn and Indiana, I would probably lean. That's a hard one. That's really a hard one. It's really a hard one for me. I'm iffy on that game. I wanted to say Brooklyn, but man, I don't know. I would take Milwaukee against Philly. I'd take Boston against Cleveland. I'll take Golden State against Houston. I'll take my Chicago Bulls against San Antonio. I would take Miami against Memphis. Kind of not too torn on that, but I probably would. Denver over Charlotte, and the Clippers over Dallas. Thank you all. Peace.